Hello, guys. Welcome to Reddit Uncovered. Hope you all are good, and before we jump to today's stories, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button below. Also, let me know in the comments on which stories you guys want me to work, and the next video will be on that. Let's get started. Okay, so the title of the first story says, Am I the asshole for refusing to drive a longer route to drop a girl off because she didn't want to be alone in the car with me? This sounds interesting. Let's jump to the story first, and then I'll share what my opinion is. I feel like it's relevant to mention I'm a male. This situation involves me and three other people. Let's call them Joe, Sandra, and Amy. I'm good friends with Joe. We've been friends since we were kids. I know Sandra through Joe, and the three of us hang out regularly. Last week, Sandra invited her friend Amy to hang out with us. Amy and Sandra are good friends, and she's met Joe before. It was my first time meeting her. We just saw a movie and then went bowling. When everything was done, Sandra asked me if I was okay to drive Amy home. I said, yeah, no problem. I'm the only one who drives, so I usually drop everyone off after we see each other. I live in the middle of nowhere, like an hour north of all of them. They all live pretty close together. From where we were and where everyone's house is, it made sense to drop off Joe first, then Sandra, and then Amy, then continue on home. We didn't discuss the logistics in advance, so I dropped Joe off first, then was heading to Sandra's. I could tell Amy and Sandra were texting each other, and they were kind of whispering. I had a feeling they were talking about me, but I didn't know for sure until Sandra just pointed out I made a wrong turn, and Amy's house was the other way. I explained it made more sense to drop Sandra off first, then Amy. It was only at this point Amy mentioned she didn't want to be alone in the car with me. Her only reason was because I'm a man, and she alluded that being alone in a car with a man she doesn't really know is unsafe. So what she was asking me was to drop her off next, then drive 10 minutes back, in the opposite direction of my house, to drop Sandra off. Then another 10 minutes back the exact same way I just came from, passing Amy's house again in order to get home. My drive home is already an hour from town, so I said no. I didn't want to add an extra 20 minutes to my already 60-minute drive. They were both really pressuring me and trying to guilt me into just doing it, but I kept saying no. It was such an awkward car ride because they just didn't give up. Amy just got out of the car at Sandra's house. She kind of slammed the door all aggressively, which pissed me off a little. I just drove straight home afterwards. Joe called me the next day and heard what happened. He felt like I should have just done it, but I feel like their ask was unreasonable. I'm not going to go way out of my way to do a favor for someone who just thinks I'm some messed up abuser or something. Anyways, just looking for opinions on whether or not I'm the asshole here. Okay. Okay. Well, after reading the whole story, my opinion is nope, you're not the asshole in this whole scenario. I mean, you are the only giving them a free ride back home, and if Amy is not comfortable going home alone with someone she don't know, then she shouldn't have sit in the first place. My question for Amy is if she came to that meetup point by Uber, then was the Uber guy her friend? This makes no sense at all. You know, guys, sometimes I think this world is full of dumb people. You guys can drop your opinion in the comment section below, and we'll move to the next story. And before we jump to the next story, hit the like and subscribe button below, guys. It really means a lot to me. Okay, guys, so this is the second story of the day, and it say, Am I the asshole for having a bad relation with one of my friends? I'm an 18-year-old male from Poland. I have a solid group of friends from high school where we usually solve problems without toxicity. Things changed when my friend Andrew introduced his girlfriend Nina's group to ours. During the summer, Andrew began drinking heavily, becoming emotional and aggressive. Nina often had to stay by his side to keep him from hurting himself or others. I don't drink, so I usually step back when people get messy. But his behavior became a recurring issue. The breaking point was New Year's Eve. Both got drunk. Nina was sick, and Andrew spent the night screaming at her and calling her names. At that point, I felt their toxic dynamic was affecting the whole group. My personal dilemma stems from Andrew's lack of respect. Before this, he constantly mocked me about a past mistake I'm not proud of. Despite my request to stop, he continued because it was his only way to get to me. After the New Year's incident, during a train ride home, I confronted him about his behavior toward Nina. He tried to deny it, but the group backed me up. In response, he repeatedly brought up my past mistake to hurt me. Later, at a friend's prom, Andrew got wasted again despite promising not to drink. When the group discussed this on voice chat, I tried to stay calm and mentioned that we are having a hard time right now regarding our friendship. Andrew and the others were shocked, and he used my vulnerability against me. Recently, he flat out called me stupid with such conviction that I just left the chat. It became clear he views himself as superior to me. For my 18th birthday, I specifically asked him not to drink. I wanted to feel comfortable at my own event. He got upset, arguing that I'm absent at parties anyway because I'm sober. Despite his attitude, he agreed. However, at the party, he broke his word and got so drunk, he passed out before midnight. I wanted to send him home in an Uber, but I didn't want to force Nina to leave too. He never apologized, only texting that it was a fun party. I don't think he drinks specifically to spite me, but he clearly doesn't respect my boundaries or my word. I don't want to engage with someone who looks down on me and refuses to listen. So, am I the asshole? In my opinion, that's another NTA tag, not the asshole. First of all, I believe that whenever a group of friends sits together, they always target one person. Well, that happens in my case, though. But honestly, I feel like if something is happening over and over again and it's causing this much trouble, then it's better step aside. Just today, when I was scrolling my IG, I read the post. It was like, your peace should not depend on someone else's mood. So if someone's actions are disturbing your peace and he's crossing the boundaries over and over again, I think it's better step away rather than thinking about it all the time and putting yourself in a trouble you aren't even a cause of. Rest, I leave it on you guys, and you can share your opinions in the comment section below. Let's jump to the next story. Also, I was wondering if I should add 3 stories in every video, or should I make it longer? Let me know what you guys think. This is the 3rd story of the day, and the title says, Am I the asshole for telling our kids about his cheating? Before jumping to the whole story, guys, please hit the like and subscribe button below. I am 48F, now X50M, and I were together for 30 plus years, and we have 3 children, M30, F27, F25. Until this past January, I thought we had a good relationship, though it's been under strain for the past few years since he started experiencing ED symptoms, but I figured we just had to ride it out and find our way like we had everything else. In early January, we had to rush him to the ER because his blood pressure spiked dangerously out of nowhere. We spent the night in the ER so they could monitor and medicate him, and went home the next day with follow-up instructions. After a good nap, we decided to go for tacos as a pick-me-up. We ate, got back in the car to head home, and then he dropped it on me. He had met a woman while gaming online and had been dating her for months. I was too shocked in the moment to even be angry. I had never even suspected he was cheating. We continued talking in the car, and he basically said that he had developed feelings for her, would not stop seeing her, but really wanted me to accept this and allow it to continue. His exact phrase was, I don't want anything to change between us. He was generous enough to add I could also see someone else too if I wanted to. I don't. I was seriously wondering if he'd somehow had a stroke that they didn't catch because everything pouring out of his mouth seemed insane. Ever since that night, we've been talking, arguing, pontificating, and finally this past weekend, I told him I was willing to stay and work things out, which he said he wanted, but only if our relationship remained closed/exclusive. He wasn't interested. I obliged. So, here's where I might be the asshole. Our kids were aware that there was something big going on between us, mostly because we canceled plans with them several times due to us fighting. So, this past Monday, I sent them this. Hi kids, as you both know, things have been a bit rough between your dad and me. We've been talking recently and have come to a clearer understanding of how we're moving forward, and I wanted to share that with you, so you know where we're at. First, let me say that I'm really sorry for any worry or hurt this has caused you all. Please remember that no matter what, we both love you all very much, and we are always here for you. In 2025, Dad met a woman in another state while gaming and made the decision to pursue a relationship with her. His infidelity has been very painful for me, and I'm doing my best to work through the emotional impact of his betrayal. Your dad doesn't feel he's in a place where he can work on the relationship between us and very much wants to date other people. So we have decided that, going forward, he and I will still consider each other family, but will no longer be partners. We will still do things together as a family and talk and see each other and spend time together. It might take a little while for all of that to come together as we both have a lot to work out, but we'll get there eventually. My ex is livid. He says I humiliated him, our kids are furious with him, our oldest daughter isn't speaking to him at all, and apparently his new girl is not happy that their affair has been outed. I don't think I've done anything other than expose his behavior. Okay, I guess this is gonna be a tough one for me. First of all, I'm sorry for what you've been and going through, and I genuinely hope things gets easier for you soon. Now, coming to your question, no, I don't think you're the asshole for telling your kids what he did. And in my opinion, you handled the situation very politely and calmly. He's the one who blew up the whole marriage, and to be honest, he don't deserve to be treated like the way you did. I would also suggest you to seek a legal attorney ASAP. I'm quite surprised on the other lady's reaction that she's about her affair with an already married man is being outed. I wonder what kind of a person she is. And your ex should have thought about how this will impact his and everyone else's life before cheating. Rest I leave up on you guys and would love to see your opinions in the comment section below. Let's jump to the next story. Okay, so the fourth story title says, Am I the asshole for refusing to nurse my husband after his accident when I found out he was cheating? Let's jump to the whole story and see what it is. I feel like cheating your partner has become too common nowadays. I 35F and my husband has been married for 7 years with kids. I truly believed we had a solid, happy marriage, and he always seemed like such an attentive husband, at least. That's what I thought. I was completely oblivious to anything going on behind my back. A few days ago, while I was prepping dinner, I got a call that he had been rushed to the hospital. I panicked and went straight there, thinking it was something serious. When I arrived, I found out it wasn't life-threatening, just a broken leg from an accident. But then I got to find out that he was in an accident with another woman I wasn't familiar with. I got access to his phone and dug deeper. I discovered the biggest shock of my life. He had been on his way back from a motel with her, and this has been going on for quite some time. I don't even know how to explain that moment. It felt like everything I believed about my marriage just collapsed instantly. When he had been patched up and noticed I found out about his affair, he started apologizing, crying, saying it was a mistake, and begging me not to leave him. But I quietly waited till he was discharged first. Once we arrived home, his family started calling me nonstop. They kept saying things like, This is when a wife stands by her husband, and marriage is for better or worse. Some of them even tried to turn it on me, asking if I had been too distant or not paying enough attention. Like his cheating was somehow my fault. I was still in shock, still trying to wrap my head around the fact that I had been completely unaware while he was out there betraying me. I took my kids and a few things and went to stay with my sister so I could clear my head and figure out what I want to do next. His injury isn't serious. He has a broken leg, not a life-threatening condition. And he has his family there with him, the same people pressuring me to come back and act like nothing happened. They're still calling, still guilt-tripping me, saying I'm abandoning my husband in his time of need. But I feel like he abandoned me first. So, AITAH for refusing to go back and nurse him after everything I found out? Well. Nope, you're not the asshole for making that decision, but in my opinion, you shouldn't have left the house. Instead, you should have just left him at the hospital and asked him to go wherever he wants to. Cheating is never a mistake, it's a choice. That's what I think. The thing that surprised me is that his family is supporting him and trying to pressurize you instead of standing by your side. He got the karma hit on his way back from the motel, but that's not enough. I honestly think and suggest you to get the attorney as soon as possible before his family comes up with something else and try to blame you like they did before. All right, guys, this is it for the day, and feel free to share your opinions in the comments section, and I will add them in the next video. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Reddit Uncovered. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.